Let's do an example of using matrix equations to solve some money problems. It says a child saves all of her quarters and dimes in a jar for an entire year. At the end of the year, she saved 1,177 coins for a total of $226.45. And it asks, how many of each type of coin did she save? So they just told us what we're asking or being asked to find. You can use Q and D if you want for quarters and dimes. That's what I tend to do, but my students lately have been feeling more comfortable with using X and Y. So that's what I'm going to do. So we have X is going to be my number of quarters. And I'm going to let Y be the number of dimes. Okay. So let's go back. Child saves all of her quarters and dimes in a jar for an entire year. All we really needed to know from that sentence is that she had quarters and dimes. Okay, so at the end of the year, she saved 1177 coins. So we're going to have X plus Y is equal to 1177. And that's just our number of coins. Our next one with the equals 226.45. 226.45 is money or value. The number of coins we have doesn't have any value, but each quarter does. So X was our quarters, and we know quarters are worth 25 cents. So we're going to have 0.25 X. We're adding dimes. Our dimes are worth 10 cents. So 0.10 Y equal to 226.45. All right. Now that we have our equations, we can write our matrix equation, A equal to AX plus B. Remember, A is our coefficient matrix. There are imaginary ones in front of the X and Y in the first equation. So we're going to have 1, 1, 0.25, 0.10. X is going to be our variables, X, Y. And B is what we're going to be equal to. And don't mix and match. If you put your 1177 second, your 1, 1 better be in the second row as well. You cannot mix and match where your answers go in your B column. And again, A is a 2 by 2, X is a 2 by 1, and B is a 2 by 1. Remember that we have to solve this. So we're going to have X equal to A inverse times B means that we need to find A inverse. Remember, A inverse is equal to 1 all over AD minus BC times DA. Flip on the main diagonal and we negate on the backswing. So plugging in A, D, B, C from our A matrix, we're going to have 1 all over 0. No, let's try that again because I didn't put A in there. 1 times 0.10 minus 1 times 0.25. Okay. And if we do that part, I'll do the crazy matrix next. 0.10 minus 0.25 gets us negative 0.15 times the crazy matrix where we flip-flop the 0.10 and the 1, and we negate on the backswing. If you look at some of the examples online, they will tell you that you needed to multiply that equation to get rid of the decimals. Just keep moving forward, getting rid of the decimals is an extra step you don't need to do because you have a calculator. So when you're distributing the scalar all the way through, what you're going to want to do is take each of these numbers in our crazy matrix and divide by negative 0.15. That is the same thing as multiplying by 1 all over negative 0.15. When you get decimals this time, convert back into fractions. And you should get, no, we'll write it up here, negative 2/3, because you wind up having negative 10, or sorry, positive 0.10 all over negative 0.15. 20 over 3, 5 over 3, and negative 20 over 3. So there's our A inverse. Now that we've found A inverse, we can find X, because X equal to A inverse times B. So that is going to be equal to the matrix we just found, the negative 2/3, 5/3, 20/3, negative 20/3, times our B matrix, the 1177, 226.45. And remember, we're doing rows by columns. We're taking a 2 by 2 times a 2 by 1. Middle numbers work. We're going to wind up with a 2 by 1 as a result. We only have one column and we have 2 rows. So row 1's going to be up top, row 2 is going to be in the bottom. And that tells you how to multiply them. So we're going to take row 1 from our orange A inverse matrix, 2/3 times our 1177, plus, because it's always plus, 20 over 3 times our 226.45. And now we're going into our second row, 5/3 times our 1177 plus negative 20/3, since we're multiplying by the column, 226.45. When you do this in your calculator, you should wind up with 725, 452. But remember, this is a matrix. This is equal to little x, little y. But you haven't told them what they were wanting to know. You haven't answered their question. So our last step is to say x is equal to 725 quarters. And y is equal to 452 dimes, which means that girl saved every single thing that she came across for an entire year.